And before starting the engines, we put the anti-collision lights on. You can see the anti-collision lights where the wing joins the fuselage, and the navigation lights are out there on the wingtips. The engines are started, and the plane is pushed back from the stand. However, with the nose in the supersonic streamline position, the pilots have little forward visibility, so can't taxi or take off. So the droop snoot was developed. It was simply so that the pilots could see where they were going, mainly on the approach and when they're taxiing on the ground. The first step is to put the heat shield down. There you can go, you can just see that disappearing into the nose structure. This slightly improves the pilot's visibility, but they can't see the taxiway or the runway, so the nose goes down to 5 degrees. Now we are taxiing out. I can sense the anticipation in the crowd. In most airliners, the pilots are situated more or less over the nose wheel, which steers the aircraft. On Concorde, the pilots are sitting 30 feet ahead of the nose wheel, so it's a rather strange feeling when they're trying to keep it on the concrete. They spend most of their time looking out over the grass as they taxi to the end of the runway. We arrive on the runway and put the landing lights on to make us very visible. You can just see these underneath the aircraft over there. It's time for takeoff. Modern jets adjust their takeoff power depending on weather, load, weight, etc. Concorde doesn't mess around. Engines are set to full power no matter what the weight. We are rolling. All 4 afterburners kick in, 2 at a time as we go through about 70 miles an hour. These give extra thrust, and orange flames can be seen coming out of each of the 4 engines. We're now accelerating hard on the ground, faster than Formula One car. At 247 miles an hour, we take off, and the landing gear is soon retracted. We won't be doing that bit today. The afterburners are on for just over a minute and then switched off. We are well airborne by then, and for most passengers it feels like they're falling backwards in their seats as the afterburner and thrust. The afterburners go off and the thrust reduces. The landing lights are retracted. As we go through 290 miles an hour, the nose is moved into 0 degrees position. And then the visor goes as we turn to the streamline position. We're now in the correct state for supersonic flight. We speed up to about Mach 0.95, just under the speed of sound, but no faster. There is no, so we don't make any sonic boom over the land. People tended to get a little bit upset there. In only 17 minutes after leaving Heathrow, we reached supersonic climb point over the Bristol Channel. Full power is applied. Afterburners go on, and again the passengers feel a surge of power. Afterburners stay on for 8 to 9 minutes until we get through the high drag stage to Mach 1.7. The afterburners then go on. Concorde's clever engineering and intake design enables continued acceleration to just over Mach 2, twice the speed of sound. And that's by the time we reach 50,000 feet. At that altitude, everything calms down and it's all very smooth. This actual aircraft you're looking at today is the Concorde Speed Record Holder, because in testing it did 1,450 miles an hour. Mach 2.23. That's almost 25 miles every minute. Put into context, that means it will take just over a minute and a half from here at Duxford into London. We could easily overtake a rifle bullet at full speed. But that speed, the metal got too hot from the friction. The fuselage was about 153 degrees C, and over time this would have led to metal fatigue. So the maximum speed for the airline Concorde was dropped by 100 miles an hour to only 1,350 miles, Mach 2.04. which reduced the skin temperature to 127 degrees. Because of this heating up, Concorde expands and is between 6 to 10 inches, that's 150 mil and a bit less than 300 mil, longer after a transatlantic flight sector. After about just 2 hours, we are approaching the United States. We cannot make a supersonic boom over the US, so at 150 miles out, before the coast, we slow down, and by 50 miles from the coast, we are subsonic and getting ready to land. Conventional airliners have flaps, which give extra lift, so they can fly slowly for landing. Concorde has no flaps. So to fly slower, it gets extra lift by pitching the nose up to about 12 degrees. This is compared to 3 degrees for a conventional airliner, meaning the pilots would lose all forward view as they approach. So, the visor is dropped. The nose then goes down to 5 degrees. However, because the whole plane is so nose up now, the pilots still cannot see the runway. So the nose goes down to a further 17.5 degrees. Now while we rope off down on the floor. This amount of droop is exclusive to this pre-production Concorde. When airline pilots started training on this plane, they didn't like the nose going completely out of sight. So it's modified to try a different position.